Well, I heard someone had a birthday this week.
Yes, it's me, Miss Capricorn Queen.
All right, Miss Sasa. So how did you celebrate your birthday this year?
We did a big birthday dinner, group dinner at Bakari. You were there along with Adam, and it was really fun. I mean, I love the setup inside there at the Bakari in Silver Lake. It's like a cute little treehouse. It's so good for groups.
It is. And like, there was one thing on the menu. I don't think the group was necessarily down for it, but on the drinks menu, did you clock that they have a 90-minute all-you-can-drink special for like $30?
Oh, wait, no, I did not realize that. You should have pointed it out to me. I would have participated with you.
The whole table had to participate, but it's like you have 90 minutes, unlimited wine and cocktails. And it's just like, if I were in college, I would be going there every single weekend for that special.
That's actually quite a good deal. Actually, before I say it's a good deal, do you remember how much it was?
It was like $32.
A person?
Per person, which is not bad. That's like, 2 cocktails.
Yeah. If you're really trying to go hard, I mean, it can be a deal. I don't know. I don't consume alcohol like that anymore. I mean, I love a good drink. I love a good martini, but I'm not downing more than 2 martinis in 2 hours.
That's why I said college Julia would have loved it, because nowadays I don't think I could hang like that.
Yeah, same. But no, birthday was good. It was so much fun. Felt very loved. Got lots of flowers and just lots of people calling and saying happy birthday. It was so sweet. Honestly, it made me feel really good. This is probably the most like confident and happy and like fulfilled I have felt in all the years I have lived on this planet. So
amazing.
Yeah, 2026. It's my year. I can feel it.
You look fabulous. So let's go 2026.
Let's do it.
Welcome to GlowJob, the beauty podcast that's more than skin deep. We're the only podcast to make you hotter and smarter.
All right, guys, let's kick off today's news roundup with our very first story. We covered this last year in one of our most popular news roundup stories around Sonia Dakar and how she allegedly burned the skin off of Victoria Nelson, a woman who did a whole deep dive on TikTok talking about her experience that went south very quickly.
I am so happy for Victoria here for finally being able to kind of take all of this pain and suffering out of this insane chemical burn that she received from Sonia Dakar back in 2021 and just doing something with it and suing the hell out of Sonia Dakar. She's not just going after, money. I think she's seeking about $71,000 in damages, but she's also going after Sonia Dakar's business license and esthetician license, which is what I think makes this case extremely interesting. She's trying to put this woman out of business. But when she had gone through that burn all those years ago, and just to keep in mind, she had been Sonia Dakar's client for years prior to this chemical burn. But she went in for a routine chemical peel that she had done with Sonia before, but this time specifically, it was burning to just another level. And she received really intensive, I think second, almost third degree burns on the side of her face that left permanent scarring. And after that, Sonia was just like so irresponsible, didn't help her, didn't refer her to a doctor, and literally had her pay another $30,000 trying to fix her messed up face.
That is the part that gets me every time. I'm like, holy crap, this woman just burned the skin off of this poor girl and then convinced her to spend another $30K to fix. Like, that should have been comped. That should have been free at the bare minimum. And also, when you get a burn like that, we learned this in esthetician school, you are supposed to refer the client to a doctor ASAP.
Exactly. But the thing is that in California, whenever you go in for a chemical peel, there is only a certain grade of chemical peel that an esthetician is allowed to provide. So in the realm of chemical peels, they can be super superficial, aka you do the peel, nothing really happens to your skin afterwards. You look a little bit glowy. Something higher level, all of your skin is going to slough off and you're going to be peeling like a snake. And that's something some estheticians are going to be able to do in California, but there are higher levels, right? And these are talking about like, Jesner peels where you do need a doctor's license to be administering something like this in the state of California. And it sounds like because of the severity of this chemical peel, she was probably using something way outside her scope. So I can see her getting her license pulled for this.
I mean, here's to hoping, because this kind of stuff should not be happening. And also, this is not the first time that Sonia Dakar has been accused of doing some crazy ass behavior. I mean, we also talked about this in last year's news roundup. Sonia Dakar allegedly bit a California state inspector that came to her place of work to inspect upon her license, like very standard procedure. And Sonia freaked out and straight up bit this woman. If if that is not unprofessional, like, I don't know what is. That's insane to me.
I mean, I am shocked that she was able to still work and operate after doing something like that. Because I think if you bite an inspector, you're probably going to get your license revoked just based off of that. But they still let her operate because she's been a celebrity esthetician for decades now.
Anecdotally, I've even heard other people say some like off-color things about experiences with her or bedside manner. And so all is adding up, coupled with Victoria's experience. Like, truly, it's shocking that she's still around.
And, we actually did have someone come into our DMs from GlowJob podcast, but, we had this influencer come in and we were talking about the news story. And he was like, oh, yeah, Sonia Dakar's team has actually been offering me comped facials lately. And they're like begging me to come in and, make a little video, like, I don't know, UGC style. And he's just like, I would never go within a 20-foot radius of that location. And you can't blame him. I mean, they definitely know better than to reach out to us, but they're scrambling for sure. Next up in beauty news, Ulta Beauty's stock price has officially reached an all-time high.
Their stock price is the highest it has ever been. And this just goes to show that beauty is still one of the top performing affordable luxury categories. So like, even when spending is super tight due to rising costs, inflation, rising rents, etc., people are still willing to spend real money on beauty products. And it's the lipstick effect, right? I'm sure we've talked about this before, but it's when things are going tough, people may not buy that really expensive designer bag or those designer shoes, but they will still buy that lipstick or mascara.
So the last closing price of Ulta stock was $620.04. And when you look back historically, like, it is pretty astronomical how much the stock has gone up, but it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, I fall victim to the lipstick effect 100%, right? Don't you?
Oh, all the time. Honestly, like, sometimes if I'm just not feeling so great and I walk past a Sephora or an Ulta and you walk around the aisles and you look at all the shiny, pretty things, then you're like, I kind of want to buy something. I don't want to leave here empty-handed. And what do you think happens to me? Of course, that's why I have like 200 lip glosses or lipsticks in my house.
I know. It's like we get why packaging is so important, because it really is just the look or the feel. Like, I really have no reason, again, to have like probably 200 lip glosses, but that's just what happens. And it is really interesting. We did poll our listeners just a couple of weeks ago on how often they're shopping for beauty products, and I was pretty surprised. The majority of them said that they were going in multiple times a month to buy new products. How often do you buy products, Sasa?
I will say, since we've started GlowJob, we do get sent stuff. That has been very nice, not needing to buy as many things, but I still find myself buying things. Like, there are things I need to restock on. And like I said, like, the times I wander into a Sephora or an Ulta and just treat myself to random things. But yeah, I would say at least twice a month.
Yeah, I think I go maybe once a month, but it's just, for me, it's just fun. You know me, I consider it market research.
Yeah, same.
Anytime I walk into a Sephora, and I don't know, it's just like, it's fun. It really does give that like dopamine hit. And it's the same. I think I mostly am saying Sephora whenever I'm talking about this, because at least where I live, all of the Sephoras are within a walking distance. And I do have to hop into a car anytime I want to go into an Ulta.
Yeah, I also shop at Sephora a lot. But honestly, now I've also been shopping way more on Amazon for beauty products. But I didn't used to trust Amazon in the past because they were kind of, it was a little bit shady and shisty because there were a lot of like third-party retailers reselling things that were not authorized. But ever since they have updated their beauty platform and have been working really closely with brands to sell authenticated product and to actually create shops within each brand, I find myself using Amazon because it's so convenient.
No, I don't blame you. I mean, I think once Amazon solved that issue and had verified stores on their platform, that totally changed the game when it comes to consumer trust. Because, we always talk about dupes, but oh my gosh, like, have you seen some of these dupes? The packaging, I cannot differentiate the packaging, like, whatsoever. So like, I wouldn't know whether I'm buying something real or not. But one company that's doing a really terrible job at managing these types of dupes is actually Walmart.
Walmart's the worst. If you go on their website, sometimes they'll sell products and you'll be like, why is this dirt cheap? Why is this makeup palette like $4? And you're like,
exactly.
What? Yeah.
It's like, why is this Byredo candle, this Byredo soap that's originally $70? Why is it going in for $20? And it's just like, they really have to get their together, because I feel like they're just doing an awful job.
Well, they allow those third-party retailers to sell. So like it's kind of like an Amazon for online. Anyone can sell products. So you could sell, like, I'm pretty sure you and I could probably figure out a way to be a Walmart vendor and sell, I don't know, makeup that we get sent. It's kind of crazy. It feels very wild, wild west.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could go and set that up tomorrow. But, typically you do have to sign these agreements and all of these, like just that you're acting in the best action for business or whatever the agreement might state. But I think the issue is like when you open it up to all of those third parties being able to sign up to become sellers, it's really, really hard to police all of them. And new ones are popping up faster than you can shut them down. And that's why you have so many rampant examples of people just abusing the situation and selling dupes and counterfeit product.
It's like YouTube. You know how like they always say so much new content gets uploaded every single day that it's almost impossible for the YouTube police to police everything and to make sure everything is safe and, not something like insane that's being uploaded. Next up in news, Sephora has now announced their 2026 birthday gift offerings.
People literally live for this. They get so excited every time Sephora announces their brand new beauty offerings. But right now, they're kicking off the new year. They have a bunch of new brands in all of the different tiers, whether you're Insider, VIB, Rouge. But now the brands that they're offering this year, Dr. Dennis Gross, Glossier, Tower 28, and Day, the hair care brand.
And so these updated gifts are for Beauty Insider members inside the US and Canada only. Later in the year, Sephora says they're going to add additional gift drops, which will include K18, Jisoo, and Innisfree.
And if you're a VIB or a Rouge, there are also more online exclusive options for you. If you're lucky and actually have a birthday between January and March, you get also a Jo Malone fragrance sampler gift for your birthday. So Sasa, just curious, what gift did you select for yourself this year?
I still haven't picked it yet, but I'm either going to do the Jo Malone sampler fragrance minis or the Glossier one because, so the Glossier one comes with a little Glossier Yeoh. Well, it comes with 3 of their perfume samplers. So it's like the Yeoh and then the 2 special edition Yeohs and then a blush. I don't like their blush, so I would only be getting it for the perfume.
Okay.
And then the Jo Malone one is the wood, sage, and sea salt and sweet pea perfume. I love the wood, sage, and sea salt. Like, I think it's such a gorgeous scent. The sweet pea is fine. But anyway, one of those 2, I think, is going to be the contender.
Okay, nice. Looks like you already know what you're getting when you
shop. Yes.
But, I was actually in Mexico over Christmas break and Cabo just got its first Sephora. And, one of the things that I noticed that I really didn't like is that all of their like VIB, Rouge prizes and also like the points that you can redeem, it's totally different than the States.
How so?
So when you go there, all of the things that you can pick from are only from the Sephora collection brand. So you don't really get any opportunity to sample new brands or different brands. Everything is just like a Sephora collection lip gloss, a Sephora collection eyeshadow. And to me, that's so boring. Like, I like redeeming my points so I can go and try something new, right?
Yeah, not only is that boring, that's just bad business because honestly, I bet you the conversion rate of folks who get to like try a sample product and they're like, "Ooh, I actually love this." And then they come back to Sephora and buy the full-size thing. Like it's what Estee Lauder herself taught us. Sampling is how you get customers.
No, I totally agree. And I'm sure the brands would be more than willing to do it, right? To provide the sample sizes, etc. But Sephora's really do operate differently from country to country. country. That's why you don't even get things like the same brands when you go from Sephora, Canada, US, Europe, Mexico, etc. It's always going to be different. Next up in beauty news, there was an amazing piece that the Wall Street Journal put out all about the rise of the blepharoplasty, and we got to get into this one.
So a blepharoplasty, aka a bleph for short, is a type of eyelid surgery that can be done to both the upper and lower part of the eye. So an upper bleph usually tightens or reshapes the eye, and a lower bleph reduces under eye puffiness.
Yeah, and essentially what you're doing when it's an upper bleph, you kind of just remove the excess skin. So oftentimes it'll look like drooping, or you'll all of a sudden just start to have a very heavy, hooded looking eye. So they'll remove the excess skin and also the excess fat. But when it comes to that lower bleph, those under eye bags, it's crazy. You can literally just chop them out and remove it and stitch it back up.
The Wall Street Journal reported that this procedure was something that people used to get when they were in their 50s and 60s, but now it's trending with younger women in their 30s and 40s, and some as young as in their 20s.
This does not surprise me whatsoever. I feel like, ever since baby Botox started becoming a household term, it's really clear that, women of all ages are going to want to do a little nip or a little tuck. Because I think one of the biggest drivers is that, especially since COVID, we're spending our entire lives on Zoom, looking in your front-facing camera, and people really just kind of obsess over their appearance. And so, there's been such a rise in plastic surgery since then. But the bleph, I think people really like it because it's subtle. You still definitely look like yourself. It's not as drastic as getting your nose redone or getting an entire facelift, but you really just look more awake. Your eyes look a little bit brighter, a little bit less puffy. I see why people go for it.
For sure. I mean, you definitely look refreshed, and it's like one of those like, oh, you look like something's different, but like, what is it? I think the other thing though is also it's kind of like a relatively quote unquote lower lift plastic surgery procedure. So this is something that can be done with local anesthesia. You don't have to be completely put under. And it's usually something that can be done under an hour, like the whole procedure, soup to nuts. And the recovery is about 2 weeks or less. So honestly, that's something that's really doable for most people.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know, anytime I'm on TikTok, I'm always getting fed these like recovery videos of like, come get a blepharoplasty with me. And then it's like day 1, day 3, and you can kind of see how quickly they're healing and almost the immediate before and after, because you do get to see those results fairly quickly after the bruising goes away. But, the blepharoplasty is, any type of eyelid surgery. It's been really, really popular in Korea for decades now. It's the #1 surgery. But there's one side effect specifically about an upper bleph that really freaks me out. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah, what is it?
So a lot of times when you're getting your upper eyelid done, when they're removing skin, removing fat, one of the things that can happen is you can no longer fully close your eyes.
I've heard about this. Like,
Yes.
So what does that even look like? Do they kind of just like look like they're hovering their eyes like this?
Yeah, so I have a girlfriend who got this done, and whenever we have sleepovers, her eyes are not closed, and it is very unsettling.
Wait, I actually, growing up, I had one friend who would sleep with her eyes open. Obviously, she did not have a blepharoplasty. We were like 10, but like that used to scare the bejesus out of me because I would look at her in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh my God, please stop, close your eyes.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that can happen afterwards. Because like, just imagine like when you close your eyes, I'm closing mine right now. Sasa, you close yours with me. When you close your eyes, it's like the perfect amount of skin, right? Like just imagine if you cut off some of that skin and you can no longer close your eye to the same degree. So, your eyelids might not close again. And when that happens, basically your eyes are just really, really dry all the time.
That sounds miserable. I hate when my eyes are dry. Like literally, it's the most uncomfortable feeling when you have dry eye.
I know. I guess like that would be considered an example of like a botched surgery, but depending, you never know how you're going to heal. So I don't know. It's a risk that I don't know if I would take, at least at this stage. I think that when I'm older and when I do have issues, because I used to have a monolid. And so now that the fat is kind of decreasing in my monolid, sometimes I have a little bit of a crease, but it's just a clear sign that your skin changes all the time, decade to decade. And so who knows what we're going to be dealing with, like 20 years from now. Maybe I'll go for a bleph and maybe I won't be able to close my eyes.
Oh my goodness. Well, fingers crossed that doesn't happen, that you can always close your eyes. But if there were ever to be a procedure I would get done, I honestly would consider a lower bleph because I have hereditary eye bags. Like, thanks, Dad, you gave me these dark circles and eye bags. And I've seen the results on these lower blephs and like they look good. You look just like more awake and refreshed. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like concealer, right? Because so much of that eye bag that you're trying to cover up with concealer for a lot of people, it's the shadow that comes with that bag. So when you're smoothing that skin out and the area is a little bit more taut, a lot of the darkness from the shadow also goes away. But I don't know, Sauce, when I look at your eyes and like that cute little eye bag, you know that people in Korea get surgery to get that eye bag, right?
I know the Agusol, like
Yes.
people always tell me whenever I get my makeup done by an Asian makeup artist, they're like, do you want me to accentuate it? I'm like, yeah, sure. It looks cute.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. So it's always that thing. We always want what we can't have. But,
I know.
you would get rid of the Agusol. Other women are going into the doctor to go and get an Agusol.
Add it. Yeah, you always want what you can't have. Honestly, like I'm fine the way I am now. And I'm like, no need for that procedure. But I do understand why people do it. I really do get it.
Yeah. So, Simone Biles actually recently came out and said that the lower bleph is the procedure that she got done. And I haven't seen photos. Have you seen photos yet?
I have not. Should we look up photos right now and see how?
Yeah, let's take a peek. I'm curious.
Okay. So we're going to overlay the image here, but you can see a drastic difference in the before and then after.
And it's not like she looked bad before whatsoever. But, she definitely did just have a hereditary, more defined, lower eye area. But now she looks freaking snatched. It looks like she has like a full beat on underneath the eye. Like that's super, super bright under eye, right?
Yeah, it's a built-in snatched under eye. It's great.
But also in that photo, it looks like that wasn't the only surgical enhancement she's done lately because she got her boobs done.
Oh, yes. Miss Simone Biles. She's been very transparent on TikTok and she's been sharing with all of her followers everything that she's been getting done, the changes in her life, which is really great to see how transparent she is. But she did get a boob job and it looks like she went several sizes up.
Good for her, because I've heard so many stories of like female gymnasts and doing so much activity and requiring like so much muscle mass onto your frame. It can kind of stunt like your womanly growth, if that makes sense, right? They definitely do have a super, super athletic build from all of those years of training. So, she's retired as a gymnast now. Go get those boobs, girl. Go for it.
Yeah, she deserves whatever she wants. Good for her.
And, Simone definitely isn't the only person in Hollywood that's been getting a blepharoplasty. It is literally probably the most common procedure that you can do. I know that Megan Fox underwent one, not during her first round of major transformation, but when she was a little bit older, she went on an interview and talked about how like a blepharoplasty really changed her look almost the most. But, there's a ton of people that were also rumored to get blepharoplasties. And we're talking like Kendall Jenner, Taylor Swift, Renee Zellweger, Anya Taylor-Joy,
Jennifer Lawrence, Matt Damon, Cameron Diaz, Selena Gomez. The list goes on, but you get the idea. Next up, Sprinkles Cupcakes closes all locations after 20 years in business.
So Sprinkles Cupcakes, it was founded by Candace Nelson and her husband back in 2005 in Beverly Hills. And it was this crazy cultural phenomenon. Like every single person and their mom was obsessed with these gourmet cupcakes. They had all of these like celebrity clients that were at every single big event. They made that super, super famous in every single airport cupcake ATM. Do you remember those?
Oh, I do. I've seen them before. And I always wondered, like, who uses the cupcake ATM? It's very cute.
Super gimmicky, but I've seen people do it, like they'll get it as a gift on their way home from an airport, right? So like, let's say you're leaving California and you want to give something to like your niece or your sister, like that's like a nice little gift that you can do to show them you were thinking about them.
So Nelson and her husband actually sold Sprinkles to a private equity firm, Carp Riley, in 2012 for an undisclosed sum. And after that sale in 2012, they walked away from ownership and had zero operational control of the business for more than a decade.
And the closure was super abrupt. It was like right on December 31st, very, very, like literally last day of the year. But they just decided to close down every single location. And, unverified reports from employees, they're suggesting a potential sale that didn't go through. So then after that fell apart, they're just like, you know what? Screw it. We're done.
I heard from some employees posting online that even people that worked for Sprinkles didn't get notice until December 31st. They were like, we're closing shop tomorrow. Bye.
That is so sad. And, it's difficult for a founder when that happens because, like, I'm sure that the Nelsons would never have wanted to treat any of their staff that way. But that's kind of what happens when you go and you sell to private equity. You sell the soul of your business, right? They can take your name, the empire that you built, and literally do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, Candace Nelson actually posted a TikTok around the time of this closure, and she was talking about how she was really saddened to hear the news, and it was a business that she and her husband had built 20 years ago. And she was saying all these sweet things about the brand. And exactly what you said was, she never wanted it to end this way. If you read the comments from folks, people are spicy. They're like, girl, you sold to private equity. What did you think was going to happen? And honestly, it's the truth. Like, that's what happens when you decide to exit for a good chunk of change. You are doing a pro-con list in your head. And it's like, do I care more about the legacy of my business or do I care about getting paid? And honestly, that's a personal choice.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, no shade to her, right? Because like, I remember she really built this like persona for herself back in the day of being one of those like, consumer founder led brands. She was just putting her heart and soul into it. And so it must be really difficult because she was showing, herself sleeping on the kitchen floor, having her parents come in and help her. And so that's what everybody knew about the brand way back in the day, and seeing how it's done such a full 180, just like cold corporate, it's just what it is.
It's sad, but also it makes sense that cupcakes are falling out of fashion. We've talked about this before with GLP-1s.
Yep. Fat is out, skinny is in. And we've seen a lot of large companies really start to make strategic moves in favor of this GLP-1 craze, right? So Unilever, and they own so many household brands, from like cleaning products, personal goods, to snack companies, and a lot of ice cream brands. So they own brands like Ben and Jerry's. And what they've recently done is they've kind of picked out every single ice cream company that they have and removed them from being underneath Unilever into its own company called Magnum. And everyone is saying that the reason why they decided to remove all the ice cream is because all of those brands have severely been underperforming since this whole GLP-1 boom.
It makes sense. If you are on a GLP-1 and you're not as hungry anymore, and if the skinny aesthetic is back in, it's not as trendy to be, munching on some ice cream and a popsicle or whatever. It's just not, it's not the look. It's not in right now.
And it makes sense. And we're seeing it right now. Like when you think about what snacks are trendy, instead of people going out for a cupcake or getting a scoop of ice cream, in my mind, especially in Los Angeles and New York, everyone is obsessed with matcha.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. In LA, I feel like everybody lines up for Community Goods and that stupid matcha latte.
It's crazy. And it's so crazy because that is not how matcha has been traditionally consumed whatsoever. It's like the most bastardized version of the original drink, but people are obsessed. Like they will wait in line for 3 hours for a cup of tea.
In New York, Blank Street Coffee also is really known for their matcha lattes, and they just do all these different flavors. Like, I know that Gen Z is super into them because it's like very Instagrammable, right? Like, or TikTokable, because it's like aesthetic and pretty, and you can get like a strawberry matcha. So it's like pink and green and white, or like a blueberry one. They just do so many flavors, and it feels quote unquote healthy, right? Because you're like, I'm drinking green tea, duh, it's like so good for me. But there's still added sugar and whatever. So it does become a dessert replacement really quickly.
Oh, yeah. And another brand out here in LA is La La Land. This company overall just like fascinates me so much because they started off as like a really aesthetic coffee shop, but now they've become like the go-to place where beauty companies will do collabs. So it's almost like the Erewhon smoothie of Los Angeles, right? But instead of like an Erewhon collab with a celebrity, it's a matcha collab with, I don't know, like a Laneige or a Drunk Elephant or Tower 20, like any. I don't know if all of them did it. I know Laneige did one for certain, but they are just cranking out like these makeup brand collabs.
We've talked about it before, lifestyle and beauty, they go hand in hand. That's why Starbucks is getting into the game too.
Yes, this is exactly what they're going to be doing. Just you see. And up next, we have Miss Hailey Bieber and Rhode. It's been pretty clear that she's getting ready to launch a few new products, and she's been using none other than her husband, Justin Bieber, to tease her new pimple patches.
How convenient it must be to have a celebrity husband that you can tout and use as your spokesperson and model. It's really nice.
It's crazy. Did you see the little clip of him, actually showcasing the pimple patches?
No, I just saw his carousel post where he like has all the pictures of him basically like doing little selfie faces.
Yeah. So like what I think is so interesting about this little sneak peek is that it's not like he's going online and talking about it or talking about the benefits or whatever. It's just like a casual post where he's wearing the patch. And then everyone, it's kind of like this fan culture. Well, they go and they research like, oh, what's he wearing? What is this? Oh, it must be a new Rhode launch thing. And just everyone is freaking out. And so it's kind of crazy that she's gaining so much hype over just a casual pic in a carousel.
So Justin posted a photo dump on his Instagram of himself wearing the new Blemish stickers. I find it really interesting that they're specifically labeling it as a blemish patch or a blemish sticker. They're not calling it a pimple patch, which, Starface is known to call their products pimple patches. I wonder if this is like a copyright issue, because of the wording. But that carousel was of Justin in Tokyo, getting ready for some of his things. And then every other photo was a face of him with one of the stickers on his face. And then the Rhode Instagram essentially reposted it. And that was it. And it created so much buzz.
It's wild. But I don't know, the girls are going to eat that up. Nowadays, people are wearing pimple patches like, badges of honor. Like they just don't care anymore. And if you can get a Hailey Bieber or Rhode patch, like people are going to love it, right?
I guess. I don't know. I would not be caught dead wearing one of those. Ever.
I've had to wear pimple patches before. I have been in some tough situations where I have been battling some zits that were out to get me. And I had no other choice. I'm like, I have to live my life. I have to tackle this. I can't just wait until nighttime to take care of my zit. Like this zit required 24 hours of care.
But Jules, would you wear a heart-shaped or star-shaped or fun-colored one? I know for a fact you wore the skin tone pimple patches.
So I have my own way of covering up my zits when I wear my pimple patches. So I wear the skin toned one and then I do a full beat on top of it to really blend it in as much as possible. And then to really take it home, what I'll do is like Marie Antoinette, I'll take a little bit of eyeliner and make it into a beauty mark just to kind of distract people from the monstrosity that they're seeing. And so it just looks like a mole. It doesn't look like a pimple patch.
Okay, but see, this is my point. So you wouldn't, specifically as you've been detailing the way that you hide the pimple patch, you would never wear an ostentatious pimple patch as like a badge of honor, right?
No, I am in my 30s. Like,
yeah, see?
I work an office job. I know, granted, it's in the beauty industry and honestly, we wear whatever we want to wear, but like I personally could not go about doing that.
I've seen I call them kids, but I'm pretty sure they're like in their early 20s wearing these colorful pimple patches like to work on the train, in their car, like casually. Not even casually, like properly, actually.
It's not for me. It's just not for me.
Yeah. I mean, Godspeed. More power to you if you can do it.
I mean, I don't know. All of the Rhode brand is not really for me. I just don't think I am the target consumer for it. And it's so ironic because Rhode is supposed to be all about like universal neutrals, yada, yada, yada. But I don't know. Not for me.
Maybe it's too young for us. And like, I'm okay with that. They do have a great demographic and a very loyal following. Not us, but
that's okay.
That's okay.
And our last news story of the day is the luxury department store, the iconic Saks of Saks Fifth Avenue. Their CEO has officially stepped down.
So Saks CEO Mark Metrick has stepped down as the CEO of Saks Global. Saks Global, to give you guys some background context, is actually Saks Fifth Avenue plus Neiman Marcus. So the two companies merged in 2024 after Saks bought Neiman Marcus for $2.65 billion in this acquisition/merger. So after Saks bought Neiman, they took on a huge amount of leverage, aka debt. They took on a big, big loan to purchase it for $2.65 billion. So now fast forward to current time, Saks actually recently missed a $100 million interest payment tied to this Neiman Marcus deal when they took out that big loan to buy it. And ever since then, there's been a lot of chit chat and rumors about a possible bankruptcy filing given all of this context. So Mark, old CEO, he's stepping down. Richard Baker, who used to be the executive chairman for Saks, is now stepping into the CEO role while also staying on as executive chairman. So it just is like so many moving parts that are going on here at Saks and Neiman's.
I mean, that's a lot of money to be short on, right? $100 million. But this just follows like a really bigger trend that we've seen happening, where there's a lot of these like multi-brand luxury department stores like Saks, Barney's. They went out of business a while ago, but so many, they're really just getting squeezed hard by all of these direct brand shopping, online platforms. And I don't know, I feel like that kind of era of shopping has just really fallen out of favor.
Definitely. It feels like a bygone era of going to the department store. I mean, honestly, running a department store is really expensive. You have to not only hold all this inventory, which is very expensive, real estate is really expensive as well. There's a huge carry cost that you have to hold on to as a business. And these stores are ginormous. I mean, like, honestly, when was the last time that you shopped at a department store, Julia?
I mean, I don't know. I am a sucker for Parisian shopping markets, right? Like any Parisian shopping department, like Bon Marche or La Galleries, like those are gorgeous, but those are also very different because there's just this different culture around it. But these big ones, I don't know, not that often. I do go to Saks to redeem my Amex credit every 6 months.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not really shopping there. Like I'm just kind of spending the minimum to actually cash out on my credit, if you know what I mean.
So you go to Saks every once in a while for points. What about the other department stores like Nordstrom or like Bloomingdale's?
I used to go to Nordstrom quite a bit when I was living in San Francisco before they had to shut that location down. Another brand that's been hit really hard for these like luxury department stores. But I would only go to either pick up online orders or to use their free tailoring services for the things that I purchased. And so I feel like that is probably what a lot of these brands, you know, these department store brands have been dealing with, just having to deal with just being an Amazon essentially, where people can pick up orders, drop returns off, that kind of thing.
I know. It really feels like what people have been saying for years. I think we're seeing it now, but the department store model is truly dying. It makes me a little sad because I did really enjoy going to the department store with my mom as a kid, like, you know, like lunching at the department store after like shopping and feeling like really grown up and getting to look at like all the shoes and the beautiful clothes. To me, that was a big coming of age moment as like a little fashion kid who was like, I want to consume all the clothes. They're so gorgeous. And then now, yeah, I don't really go to department stores that much. And it's sad.
There's not a lot there. I feel like the brands themselves, when they do have these online sites or even when they do have in-person shopping, they'll often have better sales, better rewards, all of these different kinds of things because, you know, these brands, they do make more money when they're able to sell it directly versus having to use a massive retailer or, you know, a distribution place like a department store. But I don't know, like, you know, the Sears over in Santa Monica that had closed down, again, huge location, but that's now where the Palisades High School is, right? After the Palisades fire, all those high school students moved into a department store, which is honestly amazing. It's a huge venue for them to be able to use. So to close out today, you know, just a little update, but Sasa, have you seen the most recent photos of the Rhode ambassador, Serena Williams?
Oh, yeah. Girl has gotten skinny.
And it's so wild. Serena Williams has been in our lives now for decades, right? Because she's been famous since she was a teenager and she's always had this extremely athletic build. And she just looks like half the person she was all those years ago. And I'm not sure which GLP-1 she's taking, but clearly it's one that Rhode uses. But I think I know why she kind of felt the need to go on a GLP-1.
What do you think?
So it's not because she was necessarily fat or overweight. I would not have considered her that. But, you know, when you are an athlete, she was probably burning 5,000 calories a day during training, playing all of that tennis. And when she retired, you know, and all of, you know, and she's older, she had all these children, her metabolism probably completely changed. And she was just probably gaining weight in a way that she wasn't really comfortable with, just because she wasn't burning, again, 5,000 calories a day.
That makes a lot of sense. You're totally right. She was like, she still is to me, the most peak elite athlete in the world. But yeah, I mean, if you're not playing, like, what is that? Probably like 5 or 6 times a week, consuming all this food to like fuel your body. And now as you get older, like you said, your metabolism slows down. Things don't go through you as quickly as they used to. I get it.
Yeah, but good for her. I mean, she definitely looks healthy. I wouldn't say that she looks too skinny or anything like that. Like, I still think she's got great muscle tone. And I don't know, those tennis shoulders that she has, those beautiful, like, shapely shoulders, I don't think those are going anywhere.
I agree. I think she still looks fabulous. She looks great no matter what. But you know who's one person, or actually technically two people, who I think took GLP-1s a little bit too extreme?
Are you going to say the Osbournes?
Oh no, but I mean, like, that's also very applicable. I was thinking of something a little bit more culturally relevant, which would be the two main stars of the Wicked movie. So you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, Ariana and Cynthia.
Yes.
Are they on GLP-1s?
That's what people have rumored to say. If you look up, and I urge you all to look up pictures of Cynthia before the Wicked films and then look at her during the Wicked films. Those are two completely different people. And honestly, I thought she looked really gorgeous before. She looked fit. She had like nice muscular tone and like she looked healthy. And now, honestly, they both look a little skeletal. It's crazy.
No, I am not a fan of their current look or their current vibe whatsoever.
I mean, the vibe is a whole different conversation.
No, but they're way too skinny. And it's beyond just her and Ariana Grande. Have you also seen recent pictures of Michelle Yeoh?
No, I love Michelle. What happened?
She now has those skeletal arms that Cynthia and Ariana have. It's insane.
Michelle's so beautiful.
She's beautiful and she's also thin, but you know, I feel like their body fat percentage must be single digit. Like it's insane. Like, and it's too skinny. I don't think it looks good.
Looks aside, it's just dangerous. It's just not good for your health. It's truly not healthy.
And I don't know. I know people talk about like fat shaming, skinny shaming, all of those things, but you know, I just don't think that it's healthy. Like, I really don't think that you can argue in any way that it's healthy to be that thin. And when Wicked is supposed to be like a family friendly, whatever, I don't know if the second one is. I hear it's a little more graphic, but you know, it's crazy.
I mean, hey, you know, Ro's doing a good job of marketing their GLP-1s, all the drugs that you can buy online, super easy. I was driving down Sunset. I think I was in WeHo a couple days ago. And I'm driving, I'm stuck in traffic, and I look up at this billboard, and it's a billboard of Charles Barkley, the, you know, old school basketball player, and it's a Ro ad, and it literally just says like, "Daddy's on GLP-1." Okay. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. It was weird.
I don't like any of that. Who approved that?
Someone on their marketing team, but yeah, they're doing some aggressive advertising out there.
It's crazy. I get fed a lot of those ads, like not just Ro, but also that company like Lily. No, not Lily. I forget. There's so many of that. Or Willow. Get Willow. That's the brand I always see. Yeah. And so when the ad came up across my feed, it was this like very slender looking woman. And she said, "It's time to take my shots." And so, you know, at first when I look at her, I'm like, oh, is it like a diabetes shot? Is it a, you know, IVF shot? What kind of shot is it? Because no reason in my mind would I ever think that this woman would be advertising a GLP-1. She was like a size 00. And I'm like, this is not the vibe. I'm not a fan.
I don't like this. I don't like that people are thinking in order to get rid of that last 5 to 10 pounds that like they should be taking a GLP-1. That's just not what they're made for.
No, it's not. And I feel like people also don't really realize what they do to your body. Like we did a whole episode on the rise of GLP-1s, but you know, it's not just fat that you're losing. It's all of this connective tissue. It's so bad for your skin. And it's just like a quick hack. Like back in the day, everyone was using speed and like methamphetamines to lose weight. And we'll see what like the long-term results are for kind of like this abuse of GLP-1, but I don't know. We'll see.
I do think like GLP-1s are definitely used for good causes too. I know a lot of people who like swear by them and it's been life-changing. And I think that is awesome. We're talking about like this cohort of people who are using it who don't really need it. And that's the part where it gets dangerous.
Like I have friends that are like my size or skinnier than me who are taking GLP-1. And it's like, it's kind of like that camp where it's like, you know, could I lose 5 to 10 pounds? Sure. Like, would I look great in a bikini? Yeah. To what cost?
100%. Yeah. It's 70% you lose fat when you're on a GLP-1, but 30% of that weight loss comes from the connective tissue and muscle that Julia was talking about. So remember those numbers. 30% is not small. All right, guys, that is a wrap for today's News Roundup. Be sure to tune in next Monday for our weekly drop of our News Roundup episodes.
And don't miss out on our Thursday episode for our chit chat where we'll be doing a deeper dive on a specific topic.
Bye, guys.
Bye.